Hey bike farmers, thanks for clicking in. A few things that I hear all the time around my shop are I'm not a big biker, I need one of those big fat saddles for my big fat butt, and I always get tingling in my fingers and my wrists hurt when I ride my bike. What these people are really trying to say is they're not cyclists, they're just regular people that want a comfortable, durable bike to ride around and feel the wind on their cheeks. I've come to believe that's all that like 95% of the population wants, and so that's kind of what I do here. This is a bike I picked up at a charity auction, and it's got all of the telltale signs that whoever had it before I ended up with it was looking to address these very common problems, and they did it all wrong. So I can tell because you've got a super wide Cloud 9 saddle with all these springs on it, and this is a wrong size seat post that's shimmed into the frame, and whoever did it wrong, and they're missing a part on the seat post clamp, and that's something that's overlooked and underrated. You always want a good seat post clamp, because if that thing slams down when you're in the middle of a ride, you're eating pavement. And then you've got bar ends. Bar ends were originally designed to give leverage for racing and cranking up hills, but people started using them because they offer multiple hand positions. Now what I like to do is put a little bit of a riser bar with some sweep, puts your hands in a more natural position, takes a lot of the pressure off that nerve that makes your fingers go numb. So all of these things were done to make the bike more comfortable and maybe easier to ride, but this bike still has the original tires and they're all dry rotted out, they're super knobby. Even if I were to tune this bike up as is and try to ride it, I just can't imagine that anybody would think that this bike is a comfortable bike to ride. However, it's got really good bones, and with a few easy steps, some riser handlebars, some bigger platform pedals, proper size seat post, and a wide but not crazy wide saddle. And I think I'll probably put some comfort grips, get rid of the bar ends, and some semi-slick tires. We're gonna end up with an easy to ride, comfortable, practical, durable bike that just about anybody could get on and be like, why don't they make them all this way? So the very first step here is to swap the seat post out and get it up in the stand. So you kick back, relax, I'm gonna get started. Okay, first thing I'm gonna do here is try to get this seat off. This has the old style of seat clamp. And then you can see there's all kinds of threads hanging out on this side, and then there's barely hanging on this side. Yeah, this has DIY the wrong way written all over it. You know, this bike was donated to a charity and then sold to me as a fundraiser. I can see why this one was donated. They wanted to ride a bike, tried to do it themselves on the cheap, and didn't have the bike farmer's expertise to help guide the way. And they gave up. That's my guess. I mean, that's a great saddle, but man, it's overkill. Maybe for like a beach cruiser or something. And then I do reuse these. I got like a gazillion of them. I don't know why I keep them all still. But, and then this seat clamp, quick release binder bolt here is missing a washer. So it's got this here, but what you want, and most of them come with, is, oh, dropped a hammer. This is a concave washer, if you can see that. And it should kind of follow the cam mechanism here. Anyway, they tend to get lost. Well, we're off to a good start here, folks. Let's see if I can pry this off. There we go. Okay, so we do kind of, I think, want to keep that on there. That fits on there pretty good. But then this isn't long enough. Oh, dropped a washer. Maybe I don't need that. Let's see what happens here. So I think this concave washer should work. It's just the one that I found in my bins. Okay. Put a little grease on the threads so we don't need a pliers to adjust the thing. Oh, this is definitely not long enough. I'm gonna go find a new one. Yeah, give you a closer look what I'm doing here. So here's that concave washer that follows the curvature of the cam. And you can see I've only got like 2 threads there. So it's barely holding on if we're closed. That's no goo. Okay, so I actually just found a whole new thing in my bins. So we're gonna lube this up and try it again. This one fits much better and is more like what came on the bike originally, I think. But I've kind of cobbled this together with stuff I've found laying around the shop. This reminds me of an early video of mine where I wasn't as good at editing. You know, I was having other people do the editing, but I futzed around with a seat post clamp for like a half hour. People actually watched that video. So that's way more better, hey. Okay, so we're gonna loosen that up and then try to get this seat post out. Ooh. There we go. So yeah, this was shimmed. Now it's not the end of the world to use a shim, but yeah, I don't know what the seat post size is, and then you can just shim it if you want. But we're professionals here. Keep it greasy. Get the proper size seat post in there. And a functioning quick release. There you have it. All right. Per the usual, pop these wheels off and set them aside. And if we take a closer look at this bike, you can see there's a decent amount of filth on it. So I think it's really not too bad. I don't know, could I get away with just going straight with the Behold today? Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves. We're gonna disconnect the cables first. With all the cables disconnected, it's a lot easier to wipe this frame down. And I've got myself a relatively clean rag, really. And I'm just gonna go with the Behold furniture polish here. This actually is a pretty good cleaner as well. This bike has some greasy spots on it, but nothing too filthy for a little Behold, I don't think. Hey bike farmers, just a quick note while there's a lull in the action. If you've made it this far, I assume you liked the video enough to click the like button. If you really like it, let us know in the comments below. And if you're into bicycle content for regular people, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you're able to support more directly, click on the super thanks button and send me some taco money. Or better yet, join the channel as a monthly sustaining member. All of these things will help grow the channel organically and give the Bike Farmer YouTube channel a strong future. Thanks again for watching. Now let's get back to the bikes. Always good to wipe the nether regions of the bike. Okay, now's a good time to take all your cables and put a drop or two of lube on them. You can even put them back in their happy homes if you like. And I'm always wiping as I go. Something I learned from my grandma years ago. She used to eat a lot of prunes. And we'd hear her singing from the bathroom. Wiping as I go, wiping as I go. If you eat like I do, you'll wipe as you go. She was a darling, strange woman. I think she loved us grandchildren almost as much as she loved those prunes. Hard to believe, isn't it? Well, that's broken and needs replacing. I like that. That's too bad. That's a good shifter. I wonder if I have one in the bins. I'm gonna go ahead and reconnect everything just because I'm here and I feel good about it. Oh, let's lube this cable first. Give that some love and feeling. So we get these stupid bar ends off. I think bar ends are stupid for the most part. And I say things like that just so I get comments, so go ahead and tell me about how they changed your life in the comments below. And go ahead and like those comments. Read them, like them. Oh man, die. Oh, dropped a bar end. Yeah, so the bar ends clamp to the end of the bars and then they deform them and make it impossible to slide anything on and off. See? Yeah. So this thing's stuck on there now and I get to wrestle with it. But that is shot and I'm replacing the bars, so I could just move on with my life, right? Oh. This bike is giving me the fits today. Nothing's easy so far. This is why I usually cut them off. Oh, I gotta get this off though. Shiced. That dent is the problem. But these have a little bit of flex to them. Let's loosen that bolt quite a bit. Let's see if we can just wiggle it off. Not so bad. Okay, so I think we have a big decision to make here. Okay, so these are my favorite kind of bars, right? So they're riser bars with sweep. So riser means up, sweep means back. These are 50 millimeters up and 40 degrees back. Kind of get an idea of what they look like there. And then I kind of use the top tube of the bike to eyeball my angle in the stand, which is really kind of impossible to do. Okay, so that's like mocked up how they look. And then this is the broken shifter, but for our purposes here to see, we're checking the cable length. Actually, we're checking the housing length and seeing how much it's binding here, which is quite a bit. And this one, oh, there we go. I was gonna say something smart that was really dumb. Now, we're okay with that, but it's not ideal, right? I mean, that's binding here. I mean, we'd get away with it, but that's, you know, if we're out here, you're getting a kind of a sharp angle. I want this piece of housing to be longer, which means I want this one to be longer, but this one we have to replace the shifter anyway. So we're at the point where it's like, man, do we just do all new cables and housing and use these bars, or try something different with the handlebars? So for demonstration purposes, let's try something different with the handlebars. I also am not a big fan of these bars because they're black and it's silver everything else. But they were out of silver when I placed my last order. I've got silver ones in a cart right now. So these bars came off of the last bike I did, and they have a rise to them, which is better than those ugly straight things, but no sweep. So not quite the Gibbs Bike Shop Drumlin Special Bike Farmer Comfort Bike Video standard, but it looks like a little bit less rise and not as much sweep. So then, we'll check that, and that is way more better hay. So I think we're gonna go with these bars. I think they look fine. They accomplish the uprightness. We'll put on some comfort grips. It's gonna be beautiful. And I save a few bucks. Still, we must do something about that front shifter. So here's a broken shifter. All right, now the thing is this grip and everything here is all so nice. It's in really good condition. So it makes me want to save it, even though it's just a couple dollars. Many bike shops don't bother taking grip shifts apart, and this is the reason why. I'm just showing you. Oh, did I just break something? So what I'm looking for is one of these. Did I find one? No, it's not the same. How about this one? Nope, not the same. Okay, close but no cigar. So you can see this is why bike shops don't like to repair grip shifts. Is, you know, you can spend a lot of time messing around, but I tried. Okay, so that one came apart. So this one I found in the bins. It's a 3-speed MRX. So if it says MRX on it, it means it's compatible with Shimano. If it says like 3.0 or 5.0, that's only SRAM. It's SRAM, no H. It's not SRAM, but so many people call it SRAM that, and I have a friend whose last name is SRAM, that I have to think about it every time. It drives me nuts. And I speak fluent German, as you know, Guten Tag and such. And it should be Schramm. Anyway, stupid Americans. All right, so we are replacing the cable here. We're gonna peel that away. Oh. That's the inside of your grip shifter. And usually this piece can pop out. That little doodabber. Feed your cable there. Okay. So this is an indexing one, so that'll be fun to set up with a triple chain ring. And there you have it. New cable. So here's the Wubby Dubbies. Okay, and that old cable was frayed and I just yanked it through the housing. So there's the frayed part of the cable. See that? But we can reuse this housing. It's fine. Let's lube that cable. Okay, so that housing is too short. You know, we gotta add some length to it. Okay, I cut a new length of housing. Acceptable. What's up with this? Just needed help. Don't be afraid to ask for help. And I think that's too short. Okay, and the right shifter is barely long enough, which is good because that's a pain in the butt. It's pretty easy to switch a brake cable, but you can see like switching a grip shift cable would have been a major pain in my rear. Got away with one. So, grip shifts like to have these spacers put on them. And then I have comfort grips and Suave max hold. Right? Yeah, I think all the brake cables need to be replaced. That's the problem with doing handlebars, is a lot of times you end up replacing cables. Do we have to? Yeah, I think we do. Oh, dropped a wrench. This brake lever's bent. Okay, hopefully this bike stops giving me the fits. Let's pull these tires off. Man, are they crusty. Always exciting to get to this point in the day and get the wheel up in the truthing stand, where I tell you all the truth. I don't know what I said before. Oh, I mentioned the comments before. What were you gonna comment on? leave me a comment and then like the comments and whatever, but I've got an interesting relationship with the comments. It's kind of a game for me to try to figure it out. You know, how much does the algorithm really know about us? What's the algo really doing? And from a creator standpoint, at least in YouTube, I mean, it's hard not to become obsessed with it. It's like a thing out there. There's probably a name for it. As many of you know, my regular watchers, around election time, I had a good idea to express my political opinions on this channel. And it upset many people. And many people were really, really thrilled with it. It sent me a bunch of super thanks. But people liked what I had to say and sent me a lot of money. But also people unsubscribed en masse. Not really. But there was a major disruption to the force, and the algorithm responded. And for the next month and a half, 6 weeks or so, it stopped recommending my videos, basically. I mean, half. You know, it's pretty easy, you know, just by the numbers, it's like, oh, it was half. You know, all of a sudden it was recommending it half as much. You know, that's interesting because, like, you know, you look at the election results and it's about 50-50. About half the country thinks one way and half the other country thinks the other way. That's really interesting because without expressing an opinion again, I made it clear, if one has to take sides, a 50-50 side, I made it clear which side I picked, which I don't really subscribe to that, but 50-50 thinking, I think we should all be thinking way more broadly and more nuanced than just picking a side, but never mind. That's not what this is about. This is about the comments, right? So leading up to those videos, I was getting pretty disgruntled on the truthing stand. We called it the rant stand, and I spent a lot of time. I see some of my other popular videos, like I'm still getting comments through them from, you know, a few months ago, and people are like, don't let them get you down. And the comments were really bugging me. You know, there were people that would come into the comments only to criticize me, attack me personally, attack my work, question, ask me to explain myself, all this stuff, right? Just like, I think it's very toxic behavior in the comments, and it was bothering me, and I was saying like, hey, let's not be like that, and whatever, which I now know is totally pointless. That's not what this is. But what I was doing is, you know, I made a rule that if you come at me personally or, you know, don't respect some basic decency and boundaries, that I will hide you from the channel. No more commenting. You can't do it, you know. So, but also what that does, I think, you know, clearly is like the algorithm's like, oh, you don't like this person, so we're not going to show them your videos, which kind of sucks because it's like, I still want you to watch the videos. I just don't want to hear what you have to say about it. Now, some of you are like, oh, that's censorship, free speech, you know, we should blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no, I'm just moderating my own content. Like that's my First Amendment right to moderate. That's YouTube's First Amendment right to moderate their content. Like, that's all part of the First Amendment too, you know, the freedom of press. And, you know, it's a big complex issue. It's not just like everybody gets to say whatever they want with impunity. That's not what it means. But anyway, that's also not what this truthing stand rant is about. But anyway, so I hid a lot of people before those election time videos that became really contentious. But then I hid a whole lot of other people. And I suspect that, many of the people that I hid, and many of the people that I hid during those, you know, very specific election opinion videos, political opinion videos, were from the other side of political spectrum, if I'm on one side of the political spectrum, which everybody liked to claim that I was, which I hate. I don't want to ever be lumped into a category like that, but if you gotta, you gotta. I'm not gonna, you know, I can't stop you, you know, but I don't like to subscribe to groupthink at all, but which is probably why I spend so much time thinking about this stuff. So a whole bunch of people were hidden. I suspect that they were probably from, you know, an opposite political opinion as me, if there is such a thing, or at least, you know, a lot of people tend to think so, including the algorithm. But also, you know, the rule was about toxicity. And basically I'm like, don't be an asshole, don't be a dick in the comments, and we won't have a problem. You can disagree with me all day long, I don't care. But the thing is don't attack me personally, you know, don't insult me, don't make a comment just to prove you're better than me. And I was really sensitive to that stuff. Well, I realized after 6 weeks after the election, I was like, it has been 6 weeks since I've seen a negative, toxic, mean-spirited, terrible comment in the comment section. Like, literally the comments were friendly. After the whole fallout is half as many impressions, half as much income, half as much everything. Like, I mean, holy cow, did that cost me a lot of money, right? But the comments section was super friendly and supportive and like had a feeling of community and, you know, no more assholes. Now, one could correlate the political stuff with the assholes, right? One could do that very easily, but I do not believe that correlation is causation. I don't know if the algorithm was like, hey, we're not gonna show these videos to this half of the population for political reasons or for personality reasons. But there is a strong correlation there, I'm thinking, because here's what I did, is as soon as I realized that the comments had gotten super nice, I was like, oh, there's gotta be a way to unhide everybody that's been hidden from this channel. Because the algorithm surely looks at that data when it's looking for recommendations, right? Like, we're not gonna recommend the videos to people the guy doesn't like. Even though they don't really care about me, but it's like, chances are if I don't like you, you're not gonna like me, right? So I did that. I found the button, I clicked it, I unhid everybody. And like right away, like the next video, hold on, compressor just went off. Right away, like the next video, I got a comment like out of the blue, and some bro was like, I haven't seen your videos pop up in a while. Did you get over being butthurt around the election? Blah, blah, blah. You know, or, you know, like right away. And it was the first, like, talking at me, you know, making fun of me, like one of those like toxic comments. It was the first one I'd seen in 6 weeks, and I was like, oh my God, right? But I just left it alone. I hearted it. You know, I heart it. I'm like, I love this. Overnight, the impressions like went back to normal. Subscribers have been through the roof the last 3-4 weeks. Last, you know, half dozen videos or something have done way better. This is a bummer. This wheel is dented. It's like dented. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. But anyway, Bike Farmer's back. I mean, it's been good. The revenue's still not quite there. I mean, it's back to pre-incident performance for the most part. I'm humming along, everything's great. And, you know, like a lot of the garbage did take itself out. Probably get myself in trouble again for saying that, but it's true, you know, like I set some boundaries and some people respected it and some people just went away. And that's not a bad thing, but welcome back to all of the assholes who disagree with me. You're more than welcome in the comments. I love you so much. I'm gonna heart them, and I'm just gonna say, I love this when I don't like it. Let the algorithm know that I love everyone, even the people that really want to just hate strangers on the internet, and just let the channel be the channel. But it's a fascinating social experiment, and I still don't know if it's political or personality. I just don't know. And I'm not judging. I'm just saying there's a correlation there. And you decide for yourself. Do your own research right here. Bikefarmer.com. Well, it's actually the following day. It has been a day. And yeah, this wheel that I just had in the stand is a bent rim, or it's dented. So it's got to be replaced. And I've tried a few things here, and I've decided to put a brand new replacement wheel on it. So this replacement wheel is a double walled rim, which is a little bit tougher. This is an 8, 9, and 10 speed free hub, where I'm guessing this is a 7-speed free hub because it's a 7-speed bike. So I've got to put a spacer on it, and I was able to find a spacer. So you put a spacer like that, and then the 7-speed cassette fits on there properly. So there's a little bit of doing here. I did find a used wheel, but it wasn't. It had a bent axle, and the freewheel wasn't coming off. So anyway, we're gonna take this apart and swap stuff over. So here's that spacer. I think that's required. Nope. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Huh. Or wait. Yeah, no, it's required. Maybe it's too big. It does seem like it's too much. All right, I gotta go find another spacer. This isn't the right size. It's too much. I'm guessing this is too little. Maybe if I use 2 of them. We'll see. I know there's a way to like measure or know. Yep, that's not enough. Oh, dropped a cassette. Oh, a mess. All right, let's try this one. And yes, I added cassette spacers to the shopping list. Got an order going. So there you can see the spacer in there behind the cassette. All right, then past Andy was looking out for future Andy and grabbed some rim tape here in my pocket. It's a nice wide rim, and I've still got some 19 millimeter Velox tape here. I've pretty much just started using tubeless tape to tape rims. I got this stuff in the bins, so might as well use it. You know, on double-walled rim, you use tape. Single-walled rims, you use rubber rim strips. Okay, we're gonna put some new tires on this bike. These are like a semi-slick, really good for the crushed gravel out on the Glacial Drumlin bike trail, which is where most people that buy a general purpose comfort bike imagine themselves riding. Good general purpose all-around tire with puncture resistance. Oh, dropped a side cutter. This is a very tight fit. A lot of that is because of that rim tape. Takes up a lot of room in the valley of that rim. So it's hard to get the bead of the tire in there deep enough. And so it makes this last bit really tough. And whenever you use a lever to fit that bead in there, you run the risk of pinching the tube. And then you gotta do it all over again. And life is hard. So I'm gonna try to see, my valve stem is kind of stuck up in there. Why is life so hard? Okay, it barely pokes out. And it's leaking. So I get to do it all over again. Usually this only happens when there's a customer in here watching me. Oh, this is gonna suck. Oh, it's on there so tight. Okay. One thing that I'm learning here is I do not like these Stay True wheels. Okay, officially. I was excited because they're inexpensive. They come with Shimano hubs. Yeah, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't be saying this. Maybe what I should do is take this stupid maybe it's the Velox tape that I don't like. I don't like how this bike has been fighting back. It's another thing I don't like. Okay. So this is Velox tape. It's a cloth tape. It's relatively thick. It's the same stuff they've been using for a million years. And things have changed. And we have modern conveniences in this world. All right, so this is tubeless tape. Does the same thing with way lower of a profile. Let's see how that goes. So if you can kind of start at the beginning and squeeze the bead down into the valley of the rim all the way around, every fraction of a millimeter along the way adds up. A little bit more of a fighting chance at the end here to roll it over. Now we're talking. That's a really nice finished product there. Yeah, I mean, these Stay True wheels are actually really great value. Double walled rim and Shimano hub for like 100 or 120 bucks or something. Wheels got really expensive, but comparatively it's not so bad. This front wheel is a replacement wheel as well for this bike. This is a single walled rim. They've got a little deeper valley. Should be a bit easier to put this tire on. Okay, turn this thing back into a bicycle, huh? So I like to drop a little bit of tri-flow down the brake pivots, back here behind the springs. These brake pads are worn out. Front ones look good, but we got to adjust them anyway. Something that I'm checking here, or I just checked, because this is a different rim. It might be a little bit wider than the last one. And you always want to check the spacer. So there's two size spacers, and this is the wider spacer, and that's a skinnier one. I'm gonna put the skinnier one towards the rim when I reinstall the new pads, so we get the right angle on the actual brake caliper, whatever you call them, brake arm, right? You can see they come with the thicker spacer doing the spacing. You can just flip everything around. Lots of dexterity for this. See how I did that? I always like to put a little grease on those threads. Come on. Okay. Nice. That worked out well, I think. So it's rubbing hard on one side. Could be brake tension. It could be, you know, the new wheel has a little bit of the wrong dish, or what I'm checking here is that the wheel is in the frame properly. I just loosened it up, and I just want to make sure that the wheel is properly seated in the dropouts before I get going aligning everything here. This is my JIS number 2 screwdriver, which works really well with these tension screws on brakes. Oh, dropped a screwdriver. I'm gonna loosen a little bit from this side. Huh? Looks like it's pulling a little bit from this side. It's not the best feeling brake in the planet, but I think it's totally functional. Certainly good enough for who it's for. I kind of feel like there's been a change in energy between yesterday and today. You may hear it in my voice. Oh, that's right. This is, we gotta replace this cable, or at least this housing and cable. If you see here, it's too short. Yeah, anyway, so like I was saying, I'm just like low energy and just kind of not feeling it today. And there's a few things going on that could contribute to a funk of sorts. Here's something else I noticed. This barrel adjuster is missing its lock nut. So we'll take this all the way out. But it is January 7th, and I am in southern Wisconsin, dead of winter, and we have what you call barrel adjusters. No, we have what you call seasonal affective disorder. I'm just gonna steal this one because it's already complete. Seasonal affective disorder, they call it, because those psychiatrists are so damn cute. That acronym spells sad. Yeah, well, you can take your cute, shove it straight up your ass, shrink. That's what I say. But also, and a lot of you are not gonna understand this, but Monday night, so it's Tuesday, right now it's Tuesday morning. And Monday night is bowling night in the winter for me in Wisconsin. And I bowled the worst series of the season last night. It was so bad. I mean, it was terrible. Yeah, I don't know what I did to deserve such punishment from God, but he sent the vengeance of gravity upon me in such an unfavorable manner. I just could not find the pocket. Nothing was falling. I could not convert a spare for the life of me. I left like 6 splits. It was just awful. And for the first time this season, I think my average might go down a point or 2. And that's depressing. Because bowling is life, if you think about it, primitive man, in a savanna environment, they would create a fortress across the prairie where it'd be a wooded land where the prey was, where predators. And so I think when we walk into a bowling center, it ignites our primitive selves in that same manner, where it's like, this is survival. It's survival is what it is. We are there to dominate our landscape and to find our prey and nourish our souls. That is bowling. And when you fail at that, it's like, oh man, what kind of man am I? What would my family think of me if they found out how I'm performing out here tonight? So yeah, I got that going on too today. I just woke up bummed, went to bed a little bummed and woke up bummed, bumming. Oh, it's a little uneven yet, isn't it? And then there's also the Rocco situation. So I got my dog, my old 11-year-old Boston Terrier, Rocco. And then you guys haven't seen much of him. He kind of just hides under blankets his whole life, and that's how he lives. It's pretty nice. But when he does come out, those stupid cats, especially mean old Gregor, kind of terrorize him. And I think he caught a claw from Gregor in the eyeball a month or 2 ago, probably about 2 months ago now. And we've been trying to treat it, but it's not healing. He got him really deep. And so, we've just been thinking, Rocco's he's aging quickly. He's already blind-ish, but he's getting by pretty good. And, he still gets excited sometimes, and, he's eating. He wasn't eating for a little while there. I was really worried about him. Well, anyway, we decided to remove the eye. So my old boy is gonna go under the knife. This is really wonky. I think I got it right. Okay. Yeah, so old Rocco boy is going under the knife on Thursday. So he's just been on my mind. Might be kind of cool to have a one-eyed dog for a while though. A little bit of one step on this chain, and you wipe it off. That's a nice clean chain. Get some of that overspray off the rim. Yeah, lube that rim. That's right, buddy. Yeah, boy. All right, this cable's pretty tight. I adjusted it on the barrel adjuster on the lever. On the shifter, I mean, the grip shifter. Oh, you know, it could have been because it's a different wheel, the spacing's a little different. But that's pretty good. That's a little noisy. So that would be the high limit, which would make sense because this cassette, the position of this cassette is different. I don't know exactly how, but it's one way or the other. I'm gonna loosen the high limit screw, relax the derailleur. Yeah, that's way more better, hey? The low limit's actually really good. Okay. I always feel like it's hard to show you what's going on with front derailleurs, but right now I have it in the low gear and back, which is the big cassette, big ring, big cog. There you go, big cog. There's a huge gap right here. So I'm going to turn the low limit in. And it's gonna bring the whole derailleur out a little bit. Okay, and then you can see how loose this cable is. And I'm gonna use the barrel adjuster on the shifter and turn it out to tighten that cable up. Okay, so that's taut. Okay, so shift up into the middle, and now it's rubbing on the inside, and I'm still in the big cog and back. And now I'm going to turn the barrel adjuster in, which loosens the cable, which allows the derailleur to relax, and now it's not rubbing. Okay, so then I'm going to switch into the high gear, the little cog and back. You see the chain then is now at risk of rubbing on the outer part of the front derailleur, but it is not. I would say that is just exactly perfect. Okay, and then up here, that did not want to shift. I'm going to back out the high limit screw, which see how far I can push the chain now? Okay, and it overshifts, right? So I just overshifted, turn that screw in a bit. Okay, and that prevents it from overshifting, but I'm gonna back it out just a smidge here. And then the cable tension has to be right, so it holds the derailleur in the right space so it's not rubbing on the outer cage. Okay, and so this is shifting down into low gear, and we have a little bit of slack on the cable, so we can turn the low limit out till it shifts. It's a little sluggish in that gear, but it's not too bad. And it's a little sluggish shifting up, but not too bad. That's a cable tension thing too. That's one of those, like, if you shift deliberately, it's fine. But if you shift passively, it's not. And you just never know what kind of person you're gonna get, what kind of rider. Some people just wanna feel the click and have it shift, and some people understand that they're actually operating a machine. So, I mean, that's as good as it's gonna get, but pretty much just exactly perfect. See how this pedal is just cracked? You know, that's the kind of thing that customers notice. And I just think those pedals are ugly and stupid. So off they come. Also, you know, it being January, it's always the time of year when I'm brokest. And with that surgery coming up, I mean, it's always a perfect storm, right? So I got the surgery, Rocco's surgery is $1,000 or whatever that I don't want to spend right now, but have to. And the only way to really get over seasonal affective disorder is to go someplace sunny. So I mean, a while back, I scheduled a trip to San Francisco, which is this weekend, which is nice. It sucks to have to, it just is how it worked. I already had it scheduled, and then we wanted to get the surgery as soon as we could, which was this weekend. But, you know, the dog likes Mrs. Bike Farmer better anyway. I mean, who doesn't? So, I mean, thank God I found this YouTube channel to provide some income over the winters, finally. Because it's really been tough a few of the winters, and it's been a little easier this year. But anyway, if you're so inclined and take pity upon me, I'm not too proud to beg. Go ahead, send a super thanks. It might not go to tacos. It'll go to Rocco's. Rocco's, not tacos. Well, okay, bike farmers. Despite all of the doom and gloom and depression and terrible everything, man, what a dark place. This bike turned out great. So we got that going for us. Look at this thing. It's a large, it's my size. I mean, I could bomb around this. Like, this is what I would ride around. If I lived in a city and needed a commuter bike, it would be something exactly like this. These are perfect commuter bikes. They're burly, they're durable, they're super simple and easy to work on, and every single part on this bike is cheap, cheap, cheap. And if you're near a bike co-op or something like that, they have bins full of parts that can fit on this bike. This is the cheapest, most reliable transportation on the planet. No doubt about it, the most efficient. Just think about how far you can go on one potato with this here gariest of fishers. Yeah, it is the gariest of fishers. There you go. Should that be the thumbnail or the title? I think that's more of a thumbnail. Yeah, I love it. Sorry, I'm so bummed out this morning. I don't know what the hell. I just got no energy. Yeah, if you stuck with it this far, hopefully it was chill. Hopefully you're relaxed. Hopefully you're happy. Hopefully you are in love and very comfortable on your couch with your dog. I hope that's happening. If you've watched this far, that's great. I can't wait for this video to come out and I can see all the views and all the likes that I'm getting from all of you that watch this and enjoy this. Thank you so, so much. If you do have a little extra, send some Rocco money. Super thanks. Join the channel if you haven't already. That monthly sustaining membership adds up every month. That's eventually I hope to have that membership built up where that's a steady income I can actually depend on, and so I don't have to grind it out here and rely on AdSense money, which is kind of out of my control. But that we can control. And so thank you for everybody that has joined, and welcome newcomers. And yeah, for yourself, don't forget to click that notification bell so you and your bikes can stay tuned.